Hi, guys. Welcome to the Austin Downbeat. It's Kat, your host. Thanks for joining me yet again. This is episode 68. And I have a unique take for you this week. But first, you know how we do it, the rundown of just a few people each day that are playing in the Austin area. This covers September 12th through the 18th. And here we go. My girl Katrina Kane is at Geraldine's on the 12th. Bonnie Whitmore is at the Continental Club. On the 13th, Briscoe is at Waterloo Records. A couple of days after that, I think it's on the 15th, they have a big concert at Scoot Inn. Alejandro Escovedo is at Wimberley Playhouse. On the 14th, you have Harvest Thieves at Hotel San Jose. Darden Smith is doing his thing, Who Said You Could Do That, over at Stateside by the Paramount. On the 15th, Shaky Graves is at Waterloo Records. Van Wilkes is at Green Hall. Ray Price is live at the Paramount. You know, they've been releasing random tickets here and there for that show. So I think there are just a few left if you're interested in going. And Jordan Matthew Young is at the Saxon Pub. On the 16th, Scott Strickland is at the Hill Country Galleria. Bill Kirchen is at the Continental Club. On the 17th, the Bell Sounds are at the Pershing. And on the 18th, wrap it up for Monday night residencies. Bob Schneider's at the Saxon Pub. Monday Night Supper Club is at El Mercado South. And Brian Wolf is back at the Driscoll for Monday nights. So be sure to catch that. Okay. So speaking of catch my breath. My guest today is Kurt Lammers, and if you don't necessarily know him by name, you definitely know who he is when you go to the game, and I'm talking about Austin FC. Kurt is the band director and the drum captain of La Murga de Austin, which is the name of the support band that you see in the far end of the stadium. The entire section is going bananas, and the band is really the nucleus of that. And Kurt is one of the first founding members, super fun to talk to, full of passion, and just the perfect person to be leading that group. It's fascinating. I didn't know what a supporter group was. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how it was affiliated with the soccer team and if it's not. So we learned a lot too in this conversation. They have a new songs coming out, so you can go on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can look up La Murga de Austin, and you spell that Lamurga de Austin, and you can learn the chants so that when you go to the game, you know what they're saying. They have new ones coming out and just lots of exciting stuff happening. I personally love going to those games. It's an experience to say the least. And it just is going to be a little bit better next time, just knowing that Kurt is in there in the center of that beautiful chaos at the end of the field. So, as you can tell, I really enjoyed my conversation, which you're about to see. So enjoy it with Kurt Lammers. All right. Welcome to the show, Kurt Lammers, the
Thanks.
band director, drum captain of La Murga de Austin, which I can't wait to dive into because I have so many questions.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk to you. It's a little bit of a different angle because you do something, well, you do many things, but the first one I kind of want to talk about that I'm super curious about is just Austin FC. I've been to those games. You
Oh, good.
guys make it so amazing. And I guess
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like maybe most people listening, if you've been to an Austin FC game, there's an entire section that are just like crazy people.
That's very accurate. Yeah.
And it really makes me feel like we're a grown-up city with a grown-up team and we have like real fans. So
Yeah.
how did you get started, and maybe give us a little bit of a history lesson on just is it called La Murga? Is that the group of you that's what we would refer it to?
Yeah. So and I practice this because I just did not want to, like, it's Murga. but
Okay.
it's the but then that's the correct pronunciation, and I'm probably still butchering it because originally Murgas, I mean, they've been around for hundreds of years. They're just your street carnival. Some people might go along with like kind of the samba, Rio de Janeiro kind of
Mhm.
carnival kind of vibe. While in Central America, it's more or less like for either soccer teams or community bands or university bands, but it's really just bands that play in parades, play community events, um, quinceañeras, weddings, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
And it's just slightly, a kind of a cousin of, Second Line March from, New Orleans, kind of that style of music too, with the kind of Caribbean
Hmm.
uh, Afro beat to it. Now, how I got involved in that was I had been doing marching band and drumline stuff like that. I did that, all through my youth. I did it through college, and I was kind of following the supporter group at the time and what was going on with them. And after the team got announced, I saw like a drum, and I think I saw someone with a trumpet, and I was like, oh, there's got to be a band. All right, I'm going to go find out what the band is because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
I've spent my entire, especially learning music and playing in marching band and stuff like that. I was like, there's the only way to really watch sports for me, at least, was playing in the band. I mean, in college, I didn't just do football. I did, I played in the volleyball band, the basketball band, all that stuff.
Wow.
So that's just what I knew. So come South by 2019, a couple months after the team was announced, I decided, I'm going to go find out who's doing the band.
Hmm.
And after a couple hours hanging out, finally, they were like, "You want to do the band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." They're like, "No, no, no, no. Do you want to do it? Like, do you want to?" And I was like, "Sure, sounds great." And they're like, "You got to meet this other guy." And I end up meeting Mateo and Rigo and then Gabby, and then about the five of us that kind of started this group, playing in a park together, saying, "Wouldn't it be cool someday if they let us play in the stadium?" And from that, it just kind of built on and on and on and up and up. I mean, we through the pandemic, but also we watched the stadium get built. We practiced every Tuesday. We still practice every Tuesday, but we were out there in that parking lot, and especially during pandemic, and we were distance apart, but we could be out in a big open gravel parking lot, at least fantasizing about the day that we get to all hang out in the stadium together. And that's weird to think about now, and it's
Yeah.
third season in, and yeah, it seems like old hat. Like we have our security gate people, like we say hi to all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange. So um that's the very quick how it came to be. Um it's just been it's a really neat group of folks, and it's grown from what was five, probably seven people, to now I think we have over 100 members in the chat group, but let's say 30 of them are brass, trombones, trumpet, tuba.
Hmm.
30 of them are drums, which would be bombos, surdus, snares, repiques, uh, and then the other bits of that are either people that want to join or maybe not able to commit all the time. We do have a flag team,
Yes, you
which is our
do.
banderas, which again from my marching band days, I'm just like, oh yeah, yeah, we're used to the color guard. That's good for us. So it makes sense like to have them. And then we have one of the most important is the capos, or the capos, which are the people that are on the stands kind of facing towards the crowd. Those are probably, you would consider, the most crazies of them all, because they're not even, I mean, they're watching, they're a part of the game, but they got, they're facing the crowd, they're getting them hyped up.
Mhm.
They've got the megaphones, usually lots of water that they're dousing the
Yes.
fan base with. So it's a neat group of folks, and everybody committing kind of to what their joys or their passions are, and it kind of all comes together, as you said, like it's to a wild party
It's
in the
awesome.
South End.
Yes.
uh yeah.
So it seems, I mean, how do you organize something like that? Is there organization, is just organized chaos? Because when I'm a spectator, I look down at that end to really take my cues, and like it's such a cool experience just as someone just sitting in the normal regular boring stands.
Oh man, no, everybody's in the party. Just everybody
I know,
contributes
but
in their own
it's
way,
like you gotta
Yeah.
look down south and like take your cues and try to like learn the songs and know when to, repeat and all that stuff. Um, During the game, how organized do you feel like it is? You feel like just everyone knows what to do by this point, and just trying to let it go and have fun.
Uh, I will say it's a little column A, little column B, but it's more of it is a lot more structured, I think, than people realize.
Yeah.
Most times, we have all the brass 3 rows up and we have all the drums 3 rows down. I'm usually right smack dab in the middle of that, playing drums and then signaling, conducting in the more sense, how it's going. I try my best to be watching what's going on with the match or checking in. I still rewatch the matches. I want to say, oh, I'm rewatching it because I want to listen to the band, which is rad, and it's really fun to hear how loud we are on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of times because I don't really see the match. Uh, but I try to see what's going on. I try to, feel the pace of things. If we're on an attack, if we're on the defense, like, try to make different calls like that. But yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm calling last time, I'm going, here's the next one. All right,
Okay.
wrap it up. Here we go. Does everybody know where we're going? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're in on this. And I
Oh,
try
wow.
my best to not have too much space. And one of the big things we were, from our, getting started was we wanted to set the tone for the kind of group and the kind of supporter section we wanted to be. And from the get, we didn't want any of these, just old, just bad chants, just ugly chants, homophobic chants, other things that are commonplace in other cultures and
Mhm.
other groups and leagues, and people all over the world are trying to rid the game of these specific chants. And we're not the only ones, by far not like innovating that practice, but we just don't want to give a shot or give time for people to you know do trash like that, or start like a negative, or we want to always keep the energy up and it positive. Of course the ref makes a bad call, we're gonna let him know how we feel. We're not, I mean, we're human, come on.
Yeah.
But within respectful reigns, and so that's one thing we just try to keep the energy up, but also for our opponents. I mean, when we're on the road, there might only be 20 or 30 supporters total. Maybe one person from the band, maybe, and it might just be a trumpet, it might just be a trombone, it might just be who knows. Uh, but we make it work. We just try to drown out the other supporters. We just,
Yeah.
we don't want to quit. And it's neat to see everybody join in with that. So
Yeah.
um
For travel games, do you guys get brought along, or is it just up to you? Is this something that you guys that has the team? I mean, do they like help pay for support and organization and jerseys and flags and things like that? Or are you just guys just completely, separate and on your own?
Yeah, so we're entirely separate. We're a completely volunteer organization.
Mhm.
We're actually a Texas nonprofit as yeah. We're
Oh,
trying to get
nice.
our 501c3 or whatever it is.
Mhm.
I'm not in charge of that, clearly. But
Stick to the band.
yeah, we'll get there. But no, and we do have you were asking earlier about organization. We do have a wonderful leadership team that's made
Right.
of about 18 to 19 individuals, and then there's, of course, like kind of the main music leads and
Mm.
other stuff like that. But the club, however, like we always will, we support the club, and we bleed verde and black, every game day. But we also want to be independent, so we're able to do things in our own way and stand up for things without, for lack of a better way to put it, without having to ask daddy, without having to be
Mhm.
like, hey, is it okay if we, I mean, for like you've all these shootings, and we did a moment of silence for domestic violence. We did, some other things we probably wouldn't be able to do as a group, as a community, without maybe clearing some things. And we don't want to do that for those reasons. And then for, Murga and supporter culture, it's not supported by the club. It's out of your own love of the club and your own will to do it, and your passion. Number one, that we don't want other groups to be like, oh well, they pay for their band, oh they pay for
Right.
this, which, believe me, FC Frisco, Houston Dynamo, their Twitters, that's all it is. Oh, they get paid to do this. Oh, if we had this manufactured this, oh this, and I love it. I mean, go for it, bud. I wish, man. I'll show you the receipts. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we all would love it, but it's not, that wouldn't let us do what we want to do. So
Yeah.
fortunately, we do play a lot of private events, as well as doing community events for free or for donation, from other folks or other organizations, to where we do get to fund our band, for instrument repair, for travel, for on, rare occasion. Um, the only thing they've ever done is take a drum on the plane. They took a drum, I think, on one of the playoff. I think that, no, because we didn't. I don't know. They did take it to. I think it was season one or season two, but they did stow away a drum on the plane for us. So I'll say
Nice.
that's not the only thing, but that's the only thing I'll say they probably flow the bill on. They've been great though. I mean, like during matches, like you'll see, and you might have noticed, or but they'll have our QR code up on the screen before matches. Of course, they're playing a lot of other things going on, but and hopefully, we try to get more and more folks. And there are like little sandwich boards around the stadium for people to learn the chants,
Yeah.
and other things like that. So, you know, it's getting there. I've seen even like little graphics from time to time they have on the screen,
Yeah.
with the bombos, and I think to try and do ATX and Cinco
Yeah.
Doce, and other fun ones we really enjoy. It's just it's slow but surely. We're trying to get the whole stadium involved,
Yeah.
and the club is really vocal about wanting to get that going.
Yeah.
Um, but we're also trying to change Americans, like, supporter culture in a way. Like there are some fantastic MLS supporter groups. Again,
Hmm.
we're not the first, we're not the last, thank goodness. Um, but we're trying to do our thing, but we're just trying to change the game a little bit and up the game a bit.
I
So
think you
it's
guys, I think you're representing the city so well and so beautifully. And again, it just, everyone has opinions about cities and, we're not doing enough for transportation and infrastructure. And I feel like this is really something that we are knocking it out of the park with. I'm so glad we have a stadium. I'm so glad we have a team. And I'm so glad that you guys are growing and growing and thriving and spreading like a wonderful virus throughout the
it is, yes,
city.
yes, yes.
How do people
No,
become involved? Do
it's
they,
neat.
yeah. So you say it, you say the website because I can't say this word properly, but
Oh,
Lamurga.
no, we'll get there.
Okay.
It's La Morga de Austin
.org.
.org. Yeah.
Yeah. And so people can just go on that website and say, hey, I want to become a part of it. And then there's just different levels of commitment, right? That they can have.
Yeah. So we have either, maybe you can't be there to play, all the games or all the events, or you don't, you played trumpet in high school
Yeah.
and you're 68 years old, and we have those folks. Like, it's
Love
great. But
that.
we have from 10 to 70. It's the age range is whatever your time you're willing to put in, and how much you're willing to play, and give your time. Like, we really just appreciate it. So yeah, there's a form on the website for you to be like, hey, my name's so and so, here's my email.
Mhm.
You can even, I think you can also pick your instrument you might want to be, which is of course I don't know. We have a new surdo player, which is like the big tom. It kind of, more the Rio, football style, big drum kind of look, with the big mallets, bass drum looking mallets. Um, I think she is 13. I'm terrible, but I believe she's 13. But her dad just joined our social team because he's a photographer. So we need a media crew as well
Yeah.
to capture our game day, because we're a little busy playing instruments. And so he joined as a photographer, and then he's like, "Well, my daughter is playing in marching band in junior high. Do you think she?" I was like, "Absolutely," and
I
she's
love
killing it. So I don't know. It's
that.
however you want to be involved. Like
Oh,
we'll make it work. Passion. You know, I'm a trained drummer. But it's hard to teach passion. It's hard to
yeah.
tell someone like, "Hey, you're gonna drum for 100 minutes straight. Cool?" And they go, "Yeah, all right, that
It's
that
so
makes
cool.
complete sense." And those are, you said, and I mean it, and I know you meant it in a loving way as well. It's like it's the craziest. That's
Oh, yes.
my mom will come to the games and she'll just be, "I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all play that for that long." And
Yeah.
yeah, it's but they do, and everybody. I mean, it's also 60 to 70 people full send for 100
Full
minutes
send.
straight. So
Full
yeah,
send.
it is.
Do you guys write the music as well? Did you come up with the chants, or you're just A to Z the whole thing? You're doing it all.
Well, so now, again, we've so 2019 is kind of when we got started. Those first 2-3 years were really myself and that those 5 or 6 other folks. you
Mm-hmm.
know what are some chants that we like? A few, about half of our crew come from Monterey, and come from the valley and stuff like that, and they already had soccer chants that either they grew up with from teams that
Oh,
their
cool.
families were in love with for generations, or teams that they loved, and they're like, "Oh, this is a chant." And we found out later, like, "Oh, that's because it's your favorite team." But that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So a lot of these chants, are some are classics. We played a event for Visit Austin in San Antonio. It was for tourism directors from all over the world. There
Oh,
was a
cool.
man, I will not try to guess his age, just how I want to be, just silver hair, looking great,
Yeah.
having a fantastic morning. We were playing Ole Ole Ola, and he's coming out and he's singing and chanting. Clearly not our lyrics. He's singing his own lyrics,
Right.
but he knew the tune, and he was like, and then he was like, "Play it again." We're like, "Okay, we'll do it again." And I mean, I don't know. So it's neat. We get to do that, and so sharing those kind of classic chants, but then bringing in some in the new school. We do a version of the Faruco song "Peppas." We do Camila Cabello's song "Havana." We do
Yes.
Macalla is our version of that. We do a Yellow Submarine. We call Verde Submarine, but it's for, and the chorus is, "Y'all means all for Austin. Here we go." There's just, we have, it's recognizable. We want people that are there for the first time to get
Mm-hmm.
it, or at least get 20%. Get them
Yeah.
hooked. Get them enough hooked to where they want to come back, or at least by the second half, they're like, "Cinco, uno, dos. I know this one. All right, let's go, brother.
No
Cinco. I can
area
count in
code.
Spanish too. Oh, uno. All right, dos. All right, brother. Let's. We want that. Like that's. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not too far from that myself. So
Yeah.
it's but then, and from that aspect, but also too, we got we got grown men coming up to me, in tears, being like, "This is the only thing that me and my daughter can go do together. We don't really
Mm.
connect, but like when I get to hear the chants and stuff from back when I was a kid, going with my
Oh.
dad to or my mom to matches, this is just this, and I get to share this. I had no idea, and I have no right to like connect with this like to be that moment for that person, but we are, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so it's greater than we even intended. And
Mm.
it's really beautiful. I mean, that's football, that's soccer, that is this beautiful game. But
Yeah.
I had no idea about it until I started getting to know these folks, and starting this group. yeah, even what was possible, even the history of this whole thing. It's really beautiful.
You guys really are the punctuation in that whole experience. You guys just put an exclamation point on the whole experience, I will say. I mean, it makes it so much better that you guys are there.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we
So
wouldn't
much
keep
fun.
doing it if it wasn't a lot of fun. But I mean, we got the best seat in the house,
Yeah, you do.
and it really it's something a lot of us always dreamed of. I mean, I didn't grow up in Austin per se, but it's been here long enough that it feels like we brought the whole city something that's really neat and something that we can make our own. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we can share that little part of that with the rest of the city.
Yeah, it's a pretty big part of it. So you guys, did I read correctly? You have new songs. Did you go in and you guys actually, so people can go on Spotify and
Yeah.
learn the chants and follow you
Yes.
guys on Spotify, and then you have more music coming?
Yes. So we recorded that. I mean, okay, I recorded that album. But I recorded that album, a lot of them during the pandemic. So a lot of it was me recording each individual instrument piece by piece
What?
for 18 some odd chants.
Wow.
That was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we had a lot of time. But it was a lot of work, and and I got it to a point to where it sounded like us in the stadium. I had the trumpet player and I'm not a trumpet or trombone player, but I had them come over and set up the mic in the other room and close the door, and like
Yeah.
it was a whole thing. But
I was
that's
going to ask you if you recorded it in the stadium because they sound like live recordings.
yeah.
Well
There
done.
are a couple that what we had recorded had just aged out. What we were doing in 2020, by the time we got to the 2021, the first season, it had evolved
Yeah.
to where it is now. So I was like, that's just not going to work, because I did
Mhm.
want people to play in their cars. I wanted to be walking by tailgates going, oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
I mean, it's neat, and so I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted to have that, and I just for that time and that place and what it was building up this band and building up this group. So it being from 2019, 2020, and 2021, I mean, we recorded the vocals, a lot of it in that gravel parking lot. So you'll
Mm.
hear traffic noise in the back, and you'll hear construction cranes and stuff if you listen really closely. uh, and then we ended up adding some vocals later on in a stairwell outside. For those that have been to Q2, outside the Captain Morgan Club, there's a stairwell,
Mhm.
and then it's maybe 300 yards from an apartment complex, but it bounced off the apartment complex perfectly. That it had this. It sounded really cool. So we're gonna do the same thing this round,
Oh,
which we're
cool.
gonna get to recording the vocals here in the next couple of weeks. But we rented this event space in Cherrywood, Austin, and it actually was this old Methodist church. So, like all Methodist churches, it's just built like a big old boat on the inside. It's just big wooden room, which is
Nice.
perfect for recording. Uh, because we're a big group, and yeah, I just love. It sounds so good. It
Oh.
sounds exactly like we sound in the stadium. It's a lot. We did 22 chants, all live, all like we did a couple takes on some, but it's all one take mostly, and then the vocals are just going to be, I'll do my own magic, but just
Sure.
we get about 50 people out, and
That's
you
so
know
cool.
maybe do 4 or 5 hours of recording, and then so 50 people each time, and then I just multiply
Yeah.
and and some other little tricks and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
make it sound like it's in the stadium. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was
It'll
like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we're it's getting there. I feel like this next recording will be a little bit more of what our game day is now, and a lot
Mhm.
closer to really what people hear when they're in the stands with us. And to me, it sounds like where I'm at. It sounds like the
Mhm.
brass this way and the drums this way. So for me, like the recording sounds like, I don't know. I think the best seat in the house, which is just right in the middle of the band.
Right.
So I really just want to get this going and out there, and especially too, we were going to put it on vinyl. We got a local vinyl record presser that's going to do it for us,
Oh, sweet.
and it'll probably be in the Verde store. You
Nice.
heard it here
I love it.
first. We'll have it there. But yeah, we're gonna do. We'll do some like cool, like Verde and black marble, like it'll be a collector's item. We'll make it where
So
and it'll of course be on Spotify, Apple,
yeah.
Prime Music, all that good stuff too. Because we want people playing at the tailgate. We
Yeah.
want it bumping out of the cars and stuff going down the street, and again, just tuning out the other supporters, or
Yes.
something for them. Even they got a Bluetooth speaker, Cusack style, walking into the visiting stadium, whatever. I just we're happy to be there in any way we can.
Yeah. Just
And also
permeate.
too, we have access to the player. Well, we have, through the front office relations we've gotten over the years, we have access to the players like playlist in their locker room. So I think we're gonna try to sneak some in there for them, so they
As
got
you
some of the
should.
songs now, but they don't have they're like, we've asked them, we're like, hey, we know you don't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are in the middle of a match. You do not know. It's chaos. Like, there's no way you're in your own zone. But we're like, but do you, like, on water breaks, do y'all like catch anything? And they're like, yeah, because they usually see us do Cuervos, which is the big water throwing one,
Yeah.
which is almost always like 75th, 80th minute ish. And that's usually during the water breaks during the summertime. They're like, yeah, we're sitting there just chugging water, just watching you guys just throw it on each other. And we're
Wasting
like,
all
yeah,
that water.
yeah, 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 right. Oh, it's so hot at that point though. Look,
Oof.
there's cold. We do have cold water for the band, but then there's the throw in water, and it's, at the moment it's cool, but
Mhm.
no, it's
It's hot.
stadium temp at that point water. So I don't know. And
Yeah.
then look, we don't have to go down the rabbit hole of what got splashed on me this match, because there's so many like Murga stories of like, what was that in
Right.
this, and so we have to go down that, but it's,
Let's play
yeah,
what.
I don't know sometimes. I'm gonna always just hope it's water
Oh,
or
yeah.
beer. But
Laundry day every day at your house.
they came out with the sentimiento kit, the glory mint kit, or whatever, cool verde or whatever they called it. And some, that's just when they started selling red wine in plastic cups. Look, I don't know what that was. That was a terrible correlation to start. I
Yeah.
don't know who did that. That was awful.
Yeah. That's too funny. You
Yeah.
guys are also deservedly getting a new mural. Can you talk about where that is for folks, and are some of you actually going to be painted on that mural, or what is that deal?
Yeah, so it's coming from Jay Muzak. He's with Something Cool Studios. He's a local artist, mural artist. And his kind of style are these little tiles put together and then makes this one big picture. So, each,
Yeah.
a blue and then an orange and then this and that. And then you
You
have those
back
pictures
up.
or whatever. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
go all the way out, you're like, oh, it's
I love that.
the Capitol building or Q2, or whatever.
Yeah.
So this would be something like that, and where each, there's kind of squares of individuals from all over our community, not just in La Morga, not just in the supporter group. I believe there's also other people that are either uh, one are being recognized as a part of the community, or with Cap Metro, because it's going to be a part of the Cap Metro rail station there
Nice.
at Q2.
Nice.
There's going to be the pictures, of course, with the tile design. So it looks really neat in the concept. And then I've seen video and pictures of people putting it together, and slowly but surely, I think it's going to be just such a neat
Oh.
full wall, like, mural across this whole station. That's going to be right as you walk out of Q2 into Live Oak Park, where they have the concerts and stuff. But that station's going to be just right there. Uh, and it's going to be an awesome spot, for people. you were talking, people are upset, transportation in the city, and
Yeah.
yes, it could get better, but at least there's going to be an
Yes.
actual stop at Q2.
Yes.
It's about a year and a half late, but never better late than never. But
Yeah.
we're going to have that mural. It's going to have, I believe, 3 of our members, give or take. Don't quote me on that one, but it will have some of our members featured on there, as well as it will have our music. So
Mm.
there's going to be a little interactive portion where QR code, I'm not sure how they're doing it, but you're going to be able to scan that, and it'll kind of take you to a, kind of more about the mural. And then with that, there's going to be Lamorga's music playing over the back of that.
Wow.
Maybe some sounds of game day too. It might be like a little whole kind of presentation, but that'll be kind of like a little neat stop for people, especially people that are new to Austin, or new to the fan culture. Just a little way to kind of connect new fans, and maybe, or even old fans, and have something for them to kind of check out and
It's
learn
like
more about, or just rock out.
a little amuse bouche as they get off the train and head in toward the
Yeah,
stadium. I love that. I love that.
yeah, and I've been told, I don't know if this is true. We'll see if this happens, but they've said that as the car will start to approach Q2, that there will be sounds. There will be the sounds of the stadium or Lamorga or something
Oh,
happening
cool.
as it approaches. I don't know if that's true. I that could have been just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if?
I think all the
But
lights should turn green.
absolutely, it should be Verde. It should go the whole way.
It should go like
That like
party town as soon as they pull in.
they let me into the light room one time at Q2, and they had let go of, well, okay, the lighting guy had left. They have a new person. He's fantastic, but he had left for another opportunity, but he didn't tell him how to fix the lights. So it was just on, off, Verde and Pride. That was the only lights that they had for a
Oh my
long, for
God.
like, see, yeah. But
Yeah.
they figured it out, and I think that was in the off season too. So it wasn't like it,
Yeah.
during the season or nothing. But it
That's
was
funny though.
pretty funny. They were like, "This is the only settings we have
Oh my
saved."
God. On
We, you
off.
know, um, but it is so cool. They get fined every time they make it go Verde. There's that little factoid for the
Really?
listeners, but yeah, they get fined every time it goes Verde. That's why they do you've seen like the spotlight
Uh-huh.
in the corner, in like corner flag or whatever, wherever they run to, they'll do like a spotlight. It goes Verde for a bit, and then that spotlight comes on. That's like part of the deal, I think,
Ah,
as like,
lame.
so they don't. It's not all Verde, and I get it from a TV, I guess, broadcast
Um,
stamp. I get it,
sure.
but
Yeah. But
it's
come on,
Verde. I
man.
don't. I don't know. I like. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get it. Yeah,
Is this normal for, because I watched Premier League and it's a different kind of energy, it's different kind of vibe. Is it normal? Are we unique in like the Verde and the color and like the supporter? I know there's supporter groups for lots of teams, but like it just feels like, are we like kind of the most awesome?
we're pretty cool. I mean, I know
Okay.
I'm, again,
It's kind
biased,
of the ultimate
absolutely
question.
biased. I'll 100% own that. No, we're pretty darn cool. I think
Okay.
where there's not really like other teams with our kind of color scheme. It is kind of an homage to like a classic, and this is a personal opinion here, classic like Italian or maybe South American kit, to like the original, like
Yeah.
the Verde and black stripes for that first home kit.
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of has that, been here for a long time, but brand new
Mm-hmm.
little vibe to it. So that, it's pretty neat. Them coming up with that first kit. Uh, well, the way, like, and just like that in Premier League, it's just chanting,
Mm-hmm.
coming up with a really good rhyme, and then just beating a dead horse with it,
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Yeah.
uh, so, and we've tried to learn chants from, we placed some Italian chants, some Spanish chants, we placed some, Mexican chants, some South American chants. We're trying to learn more and more from all over. So those Premier League chants, I guess you could say Yellow Submarine ish, but or Verde Submarine might be that, but we still do it with trumpets and drums and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Just feel like we
we
have
try to
more
have moments
flair.
where it's a cappella and where we're doing that, and we're gonna get there. we'll have moments where it's rocking and everybody's just singing their hearts out.
Yeah.
That's what they're really great at in Premier League, is they all know the chants, and they're singing them.
Yeah.
That's why it sounds so good. But that's definitely what they have. Of course, they do have 85, 90 years on most of us as far as
Right.
a
Yeah, like
supporter
those
group.
chants are passed down through the generations.
They're
Yeah.
played at
Yeah.
people's funerals.
Right.
They know these chants.
Right.
uh and or they're plays on the same chants, and a
Hmm.
lot of them repeat. A lot of them, um they just they just kind of gone over the years, and okay, now this player's name kind of goes with this one, it goes with this one.
Yeah.
Best example is like Seven Nation Army. Every group does
Yes.
that in
Yeah.
some way,
Yeah.
except for us.
Which I love.
But that's that. I know that's there'll be a day where I'm not around, but that as far, I don't know. I'm doing my best to keep it out as best I can. But they're playing it. They're playing it at the during the Leagues Cup match over the speaker. So what can I
Mm,
do?
yeah. Yeah. So as if you weren't busy enough doing this, you also play music with um I mean, you have your own music that you make, and then you do keys and vocals for Nubia Emmon. Am I saying her last
Yeah,
name right?
yeah. It's Nubia Emmon, but
Nubia
that's
Emmon.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met her and her family back in 2015, and really it's just a I showed up to like 11 p.m. rehearsal, and ended up I didn't leave until 5 a.m.
Wow.
We had to play like the next night. It was one of those like old, I mean, I say old, but like I don't know, that's just kind of how things were at one time. But I don't know, South by,
Yeah.
you get asked to play these gigs last minute, and you're like, okay, sure, yeah, happy to, and you show
Yeah.
up, you learn all these songs, you play the set, you don't ever see them ever again. you
Right.
know but it happened that she's from the area, she's from Central Texas, and yeah, her family's been in this area for a long time. Her You've definitely heard I mean, Tamar and the FCs. Tamar Williams, that's her uncle. Cherie
Yeah.
Smith, that's her cousin, aunt. It's a whole big family. I'm gonna yeah, everybody's uncle, cousins, and we're all family
Oh,
now. But it's just it's a really neat group. I mean, she's just a joy on stage.
yeah.
You want to sing along with her. The songs are super fun. I mean, it's R&B, soul, hip hop. She can sing her heart out, belt it to the top of the rafters, and she can rap too. And
Wow.
I'm just happy that they let me on stage. I'm like, yeah,
You're
I'm the
like,
only
don't
white
let
guy up
me.
there. I'm like, just y'all give me a mic too. Y'all messed up, but whatever. I appreciate it. And I really, I've felt a part of the family, just almost immediately, and so we've been slowly building up that group, and
Nice.
this year has been a really good year for us, and we're starting to add horns and backup singers, and
Ooh, I love that.
it's a lot of fun. I mean, we also, I've been getting them into, we do 90 minutes straight. We don't really I don't let, sorry, that was a bad way to put that. Nubia takes breaks when she absolutely wants to.
Yeah.
But we've been, trying to craft, like, getting that show going,
Yeah.
to kind of get that, the bigger stages and ready for those. So those, it's been really, really fun,
Yeah.
kind of taking those songs we used to play all the time and now getting them where they're worked up to a fuller set. So I'm just really getting into that 90-minute set without stopping, I guess, and really enjoying that. Uh, so it's been really fun getting to play with her. And again, it's a completely different style of
So
music
different.
than I get to play with Murga. And I still play music with a bunch of other friends in town. I've toured with bands doing the indie rock stuff, doing the Texas country stuff, doing Latin cumbia psychedelic stuff, like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'll let me play on stage and hang out, like, and I'm there
You're a
most
Swiss Army
times.
knife. I love it.
Try my best. I really, really do.
Where
And I
where
just tried. Yeah.
where can we see you play? So I know for Ham Day you're going to be playing on the 17th. Where can we see you there?
Yeah, so 17th of September is a Tuesday. It's at Oskar Blues for Ham Day. It's gonna be a free show, but all the proceeds there at Oscar Blues is gonna go to HAAM, which is
Mhm.
really neat. Which, I mean,
Enough.
for those that don't know, you should know, but HAAM is a wonderful organization,
Yes.
partnered with the Sims Foundation. That's healthcare for our local musicians and mental health care through the Sims
Mhm.
Foundation.
Yeah.
HAAM has, I mean, I can attest to it, has saved my life. It saved dozens of my other friends'
Yeah.
lives. I mean, it's a blessing. They're wonderful folks.
Mhm.
Everybody there. I can never have a bad word to say about them.
Mm.
In the least, like, yeah, they help from earplugs to dental surgery for some folks, or
Right.
they help you out, and it's man, when you need to make a gig, or you're worried about something, yeah, I mean, yeah, I sliced the tip of my finger off one time, and I still made the tour 6 weeks later because of HAAM.
Because of HAAM.
uh yeah, I mean, really, truly. So it's a neat group. So HAAM Day on the 17th, Tuesday, Oskar Blues Brewery up north off of Metric. I just
Mhm.
remember that because it's right by Q2. And
Yeah.
then the 22nd, heading
Mhm.
back south for Meanwhile Brewery,
Yeah.
which, if you haven't, awesome
It's a
space
great
outdoors.
venue. Yeah.
Yeah, they even have a little mini soccer pitch there, food
Mhm.
trucks, fantastic beer, awesome staff, fantastic sound, huge stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our third time to play there, but it's our first Friday playing there, so that'll
Nice.
be a big one. And we're looking to have the backup singers and horn section out there. So it's a free
Awesome.
show, so you'll kind of get a preview of what you might have to start paying some money for later on.
Right.
So this is going to be a neat. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, we're all friends and up there, so there's going to be some laughs. We're goofy, and I mean, you
I
can't
love
help
that.
it. It's yeah, we're just having a blast. So
I love that. You've so much exciting stuff that you're creating for yourself and also for us to enjoy. So I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing. Thanks for coming on the show.
absolutely, thanks
Yeah,
for
I
having
can't.
me.
Thanks. My kids keep asking to go to another FC game. Last time we went, it was I think probably, well, it was cold. I don't really remember what month it was, but it was
Oh, when was
kind of
cold? I don't
cold.
remember cold. What's
I know.
cold? What is this four
It's
letter
where
word?
you wear extra, you wear this
Oh,
thing called a jacket. It's so bizarre, I know, but
oh man. Oh, I mean, no, I remember. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just as hard to play in the cold as it is to play in the massive heat.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'd rather, yeah,
we're in the
two
middle.
extremes.
Yeah, yeah. But when I'm there, we will look your way for sure.
Come say what's up. We have a little Murga VIP row y'all can come hang out
Oh,
in. We got earplugs, don't worry. But yeah. Yeah, we have a it's a whole lot of fun.
I bet
Maybe
it.
some ponchos for the kids. I don't like, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I know. They were like, wow. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you have no idea.
Yeah, it's not, but I mean, I will say though, I mean, we do have a lot of parents that are like, my kid just won't stop about this, and like, and they have to buy him like a little mini megaphone or whatever.
Love it.
It's yeah, it catches fast. So yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what we need. We're talking about growing the legend, right? So we
Yes.
need the
Generation.
youngins when they're wheeling us out on the field. They're that's who we need, y'all. I can't. I don't got it yet, but these hands aren't good, man. They're not gonna last forever. So yeah, we really need it. So appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Fantastic. Kurt, so great to meet you and spend time with you. Thanks so much for coming on
Great
the
to
show.
meet
I
you.
can't wait to see you in person. And I will push out all the details for your upcoming shows with Nubia, and I'll try to make it out there myself. So,
Thanks
all
so
right.
much. Please do.
Of course. That does it for another episode of the Austin Downbeat, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.